Good morning, class. Today's lesson is 3.4. Compare and order rational numbers. Our essential question, how can you compare and order rational numbers? Connect. You've used a number line to compare and order integers. You can also use a number line to compare other rational numbers, including decimals and fractions. Let's unlock the problem. The table shows the average December temperatures in 5 U.S. cities. Which city has the greatest average? December temperature, Annapolis, or Boise? So one way, use the number line. Graph the temperatures for Annapolis and Boise. So Boise is -1, so there's -1. The next one is Annapolis, is -0.6. Well, that's not 1. It's -0.6 is going to be in between the 0 and 1. So 0.6, well, that's probably 0.5 right there because it's halfway in between. So 0.6 is going to be right there. So think, as you move to the right on the horizontal line, the numbers become greater. So -0.6 is to the right of -1. So the city whose temperature is the furthest to the right is Annapolis. I'll just put IN for short. Another way, use place values to compare the decimals. Write the temperatures with their decimals on a line that points up. So Annapolis is -0.6 and Boise is -1. Compare the digits in the ones place. If the number is negative, include the negative sign with each digit. So if I'm comparing, think 0 is greater than -1 and -0.6 is greater than -1. So -0.6 is warmer than -1 degrees Celsius. So Indianapolis has a greater average December temperature than Boise. Example 1. The elevation of an object found at a dig site are recorded on the table. Which object was found at a lower elevation of fossil shells or of the fossil shell or the fossil of the fish? One way, use a number line. Graph the elevations of the fossil of the shell and the fossil of the fish. So the fossil of the shell was found at -3.5 degrees elevation. So this is 3 and that's 4. So 3.5 is going to be right in between the 3 and the 4. So this is the shell. And then the fish was -3.25. So that, again, there's -3. -3.25 is going to be in between -3.5. So it's going to be right, whoops, not right there, but like right there in the middle. Let me make this one red. Let's erase that. So it's going to be about right there. Halfway in between the -3 and the -3.5. That's going to be my fish. Okay, so think, as you move vertically, because now we're moving vertically, down on the vertical number line, the numbers become less. So -3.5 is below -3.25. Another way, step 1, write the elevations with a common denominator. So 3.1/2, if I wanted to make it a common denominator with 3.25, they both can have 4 on the bottom, right? Because 4 goes into both, so I can leave this be 3.25. But in order to make this bottom number have 4 on the bottom, I need to multiply it by 2 over 2. So 2 times 1, sorry, my marker's not working so well. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So we have 2 2/4, or 3 2/4, and 3 1/4. Since -2/4 is less than -1/4, -3.5 is going to be less than -3 1/4. So the fossil with the shell was found at a lower elevation than the fossil with the fish. Okay, next problem. Compare -1/10 and -4/5. So you can make the fraction, 1/10 is 1/10, right? So -1/10 is -1/10. And then you have your fraction -4. It's hard to kind of compare when you have a 10 on the bottom and a 5 on the bottom. So if you can make the bottom numbers be the same, and a number that could make them be the same is 10, right? Because 5 can go into 10. And in order to do that, I have to multiply the top and the bottom by 2 over 2. 2 times 5 is the 10, and 2 times 4 is the 8. So now we're comparing negative 1/10 and negative 8/10 to kind of help us out there. So negative 8 is less than negative 1. So negative 4/5 is less than negative 1. You could also graph it. So they graphed it there. Okay, whoops. They graphed the negative 4/5 and the negative 1/10 because it's going to be in between the 0 and the 1. So negative 0.8 is less than negative 1/10. Let's do a couple more. Now we're going to do the greater than and less than sign. So I have negative 3/10 and negative 2/10. So think, negative 3/10 is to the left of negative 2/10 on the number line. So it is going to be less than 2, right? You can draw number lines. These are just putting them in order. So once you look at them, you're going to put them in order. You can do a vertical number line, you can do horizontal number line, whatever is going to help you. Like on this one, I would probably convert this one to a decimal, or I would convert these to fractions to kind of help you. To finish the rest of the problems, you can work together, or in a small group, or with me. Good luck.